This is part two. Tony Terry, the legendary, world famous, renowned singer. Relationships. What is it that, I mean, if you said the American is greedy, is not liked around the world, what do they think about relationships, men and women?
Well, let me back up. You know, there is a common denominator. There's a common thread, you know, that I've noticed in every place that I've gone around the world. And I've gone to countries that don't have cars, they ride bikes. I've gone to countries that people are walking. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is, and they have rush hour. But imagine rush hour on bicycle. Imagine rush hour with throngs of people walking, you know, to work and
You
walking
hit
home
my
from work.
bike.
Well, you know, but my point is that the bottom line is that the thing that we all have in common around the world is that we want to take care of our families. We want to provide for our families.
Mm-hmm.
We want to love, and we want to be loved, and we want to have a home to go home to at the end of the day. So we're all working for that. We all want that, and so there you have it.
Do you, you said you traveled with Roberta Flack and she was able to pass on lessons to you.
Valuable lessons.
Have you been able to find some emerging artists that you can pass the ball to, that you can help light their torch?
That's a good question, because you know we've started the Kinfolk Syndicate, and what we're going to do, or what we are doing, is right now I'm based in Atlanta, and so right now we have gathered some of the hottest acts in Atlanta, some of the hottest talent in Atlanta, and we're grooming them.
You didn't take Lehman down there, would you? Did you?
No, man, Lehman keeps bringing me back up here.
You might need to take Lehman down there.
And we polish them up and we get them ready, and we're going to be presenting, you know, some wonderfully talented men and women, young people.
You've been through trials, you've been through adversities yourself. I mean, no doubt marriage can be. Okay, so what Bible verses come to mind? Yeah. Yeah, you know I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. I mean,
well, okay, well,
it's
listen.
impossible to please God without faith. What's your verse?
Well,
Or verses?
let me tell you something. Right now, I'm on this little journey, and Psalm 133, 133rd Psalm is a verse which is, oh how pleasant, oh how good and how pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. It's like the precious ointment upon the beard, even Aaron's beard. It's like the dew on the mountain of Hermon, right? And as the dew from the mountain of Zion, because it was there that the Lord commanded the blessing, even life forevermore.
African Americans in this country, for the first time ever, and I don't know if you've been asked your thoughts on politics before, but for the first time in the history of the world, the United States of America has a man of color, a black man, as president, Barack Obama. What were you thinking as that unfolded?
I mean, it was a proud moment, obviously, because he's black. And now you got to show up. I think that the fact that
even after 8 years of George Bush and $5 an hour, $5 a gallon for gasoline.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Obama inherited the country, which was in complete disarray, in complete shambles.
Everything.
And in the 4 years that he's going to get, as a president, he will not be able to straighten those things out. In fact, it took more than 4 years to put us in this mess, and it's going to take more than 4 years to get us out. But as a black man, I'm proud that, we finally have gotten to the point in the world in our country, where we can have a black president.
For me, the image of that man dealing with what you have acknowledged as demanding marriage. If he stays married to that woman, fathers those two little girls, that image alone to me speaks volumes.
It speaks volumes, and not only
to
that,
all people.
but it really, now I can really tell, because before that happened, when we say to our black children, you can be anything you want to be. You can do anything you want to do. Now, in theory, that sounded great, but the reality was we really couldn't. Not until the day that Barack was elected president. Now we know that all things in this country or in the world are possible. It's possible. And when I say to my son, you can be the president of the United States, he really could. It's really possible. I'm not saying he really would, but there is a possibility. All things are possible.
Who do you look up to in the industry?
My manager's going, me. There are a lot of people, that I've gotten.
You were a little kid. You heard someone saying that, whether it was Stevie Wonder or Oh Happy Day or
It was that. It was Stevie Wonder. It was the Jacksons. It was Donny Hathaway. It was Aretha Franklin. It was hearing. I always knew that music was the key. Listen, when times are rough, we listen to music.
hmm
When we're sad, we listen to music.
Amen.
When we're happy, we're listening to music.
hmm
When we are, in every emotion, for every emotion,
There's a song.
there is a song.
Okay. I got one last question, and then maybe Mr. Manager over there he'll put us on point as to how we need to close out. One thing I've learned in 8 years of running a business is to pray that God surrounds me with good people to work with.
Absolutely.
This guy over here, he wouldn't be there if there wasn't some type of anointment on him, some type of in some way he's ordained right now to be right here in this place.
Absolutely.
And good help is hard to find. How about that?
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
I agree. I agree because see, I have been on the other side because I've been surrounded by people who meant me no good.
Saboteurs.
Yeah, who sheep's in wolf's clothing.
Mm-hmm. Smile in your face, stab you in the back.
Stab you in the back. People who I genuinely thought cared about me, and they robbed me at every turn, and I'm still paying the price for that.
Mm-hmm.
But so now, I know that I need to have people around me who are equally yoked,
Mm-hmm.
people who are grounded, and then if I want to stay prayed up, then I have to have people around me who pray.
Yeah.
And if I want to stay grounded, then I have to have people around me who are on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so therefore, and then
You've also learned how to be a good friend too, though. They say in order to have a friend, you have to be a friend.
I've learned how to be a friend.
And you showing up for Lehman, who would imagine?
Well, I would do pretty much anything for Lehman.
But that's friendship.
That's friendship.
And that's selflessness.
That's selflessness.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, we got a couple minutes. Your final thoughts. What's your message to the world?
A message to the world, and there's one thing that we did briefly talk about this. Well, first of all, this is my new headshot. Get a good look at that over there. That's Tony Terry thing. But then right here, we're talking about fibromyalgia and exactly what fibromyalgia is. As I said earlier, I spoke about fibromyalgia on the Monique show, and now I'm the spokesman for the organization, and not only about bringing awareness about fibromyalgia, but also shining the light on the caregiver. Being a person who takes care of anyone that lives with some kind of chronic condition, whether it's cancer, whether it's fibromyalgia, or whatever it is, that person is often overlooked, and so and it's a thankless job. And so one of the things,
Kind of like being a stepdaddy.
Kind of like being a stepdad. But so one of the things that I wanted to shed a light on for the caregiver was that it's okay to say I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And maybe a support system.
And a support system for the caregiver.
For the
because,
caregiver, yeah.
when you're being dumped on all day
Yeah.
because you're taking care of someone.
Did you hear what happened in Baltimore?
No, I didn't.
Over at Johns Hopkins, this
Oh,
man
yes,
was taking care of his mom, and he was the caregiver.
It was the caregiver.
And I don't know what that doctor said to him, but he snapped.
He snapped. Yeah, I did hear that. That was big news. That's world news. But we have to have a support system as well. We
Yes.
have to, who do we talk to when we need someone a shoulder to cry on?
Especially men, because we're less to befriend each other.
Men. Especially men, because already, our conversation with each other is very surface.
Mm-hmm.
I call it slapstick. And so to get beyond, the surface and start dealing and talking about things that edify each other.
Mm-hmm.
When you start, if you can manage to put your pride aside and say,
how do you deal with this situation? I
how do
don't
you deal with it?
I don't know how to deal with it. Yeah.
And then you find out that the brother who you're talking to either is or has
Yeah.
gone through a very similar situation, if
Yeah.
not the same situation, or know someone who
Yeah.
has. And then you start fellowshipping, and then you realize that I'm not by myself.
Not alone. Amen. Tell us about the Kindred Syndicate.
Kinfolk
Syndicate.
Kinfolk Syndicate is the new Tony Terry organization that, it's really a family thing. Kinfolk.
Okay.
Kindred spirits,
Good
you
deal.
know, like-minded people. So we're taking people that we're connected with, people that are connected with us, people that bring something to the table, talented, and not just singing, but musicians, visual artists, actors, ultimately, you know, directors, writers. You know, we want artistic kindred spirits to work together, to develop each other, to help each other grow. Now, one of the things that I've been doing in Atlanta is, you know, just by virtue of being who I am and the way that I do business, is that I'm inclusive.
Okay.
I'm inclusive, and I like to include people. And I think that we should edify each other, teach each other, so that we can, when I give to them, they can go and give to
The one and
someone
only
else.
Tony Turner. Thank you for coming to Baltimore. Thank you for supporting Lehman Best. And keep on blessing people.
Yes, sir.
And big ups to your manager. Keep watching BeMoreNews.com, the news before the news, where we uncover the truth.
See ya.